Hi guys, and welcome back to another fly fishing video. So what you see behind me is a fishery called Adair Springs, or Ned's Lake as the locals refer to it. I'm here for the Irish Spring Fly Fair. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, the Irish Spring Fly Fair, what's it all about? Well, it's really a celebration of everything fly fishing. We've got demonstrators and exhibitors from across the United Kingdom, all in the big white tent, showing off their wares and their skills in the case of the tyres. Now, I've already walked up Tyres Row as the guys were setting up, and some of the boys are actually selling flies, and I was quite tempted to put my hand in my pocket on one occasion. A boy had a lovely row of emerging patterns, and they looked absolutely superb. Not only traditional trout type flies, but there's guys there tying predator and pike flies. And around the lakes here, what we have is Henry Gilby in the background here. He's been given a demonstration on popper lures, and just up the bank the other side there's some spey casting demonstrations going on. There really is something for everyone here. One of the things I really like about the fair is they've set up a little area around the lakes where youngsters can come along and try and catch their first trout. I think it's really important to try and encourage youngsters into the sport. We're an ageing population, us fly anglers, and if we don't get youth in soon in this country, we're really going to struggle in the future. Well, I'm joined by Ned Mayer. He's the brainchild behind the Irish Spring Fly Fishing Fair. So, Ned, this is the second year of the show and it seems to be going really well. Can you tell me about the origins and why you thought it'd be a good idea to start the show?
Yeah, well, look, I always thought that a fishery was the ideal venue to have an angling show. Like, we have the marquee for all the stands, and we have the fishery available then for all the different demonstrations.
I know, and I'll just stop you there, Ned. I've been walking around the lakes and you've got some leviathans swimming about, and I can't tell you how hard it is to be making a video today when I'd rather be on one of your lakes trying to catch them fish. Yeah, we get people that come a long distance from all over the country just for a chance to do battle with some of our monster rainbows, and we also have brown trout in there, probably ranging up to 12-15 pounds. Yeah, well, I've seen a few really big fish come up to take dries. It's amazing, and it seems to be a lovely complex that you've got there. Yeah. So behind me is the marquee, and inside the marquee we've got tyres from across the UK. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah, we have over 20 tyres there in total, and there's some for salmon flies, some for trout and river flies, and predator, saltwater, pike. You know, we try to cover a bit of everything. I've had a little walk up and down the fly tying stands, and they've got some really talented tyres, and I'm hopefully going to get a couple of them to do some flies for me. It'll save me a bit of work on the channel, you know, if I can get one of them to tie a fly. But they've got pike flies, dry flies, everything. You imagine it, there's something for everything. One of the things that's really struck me walking around the lakes is one of the lakes has been fenced off, and it's for the youngsters, so that they can have their first go at catching fish. Yeah, we have a system going here for the weekend for the show where the kids can be shown how to tie their first fly with Abkai, and then they go out onto the lake and tie on the fly and catch the fish, and they get a certificate and a medal to say they caught their first fish. Yeah, that's brilliant. I think everybody our age talks about the fact that when we go to these fisheries, we're not seeing youngsters coming through the doors, and we've really got to try and change that trend round and get the youngsters involved in the sport. Yeah, like the small lake there works a treat for families in the summer, and they come in and they catch a fish and maybe do a barbecue, and you know, they're out in the fresh air and to something different. Yeah, so you allow families to come and they can set up their barbies, and I don't think that would go down very well in Surrey, but you know, obviously over here in Ireland it's a bit more relaxed. So we've got a few trade stands as well inside the tent. Yeah, we try to cover everything. There's spinning gear and sea gear and
fly gear and clothing. And
So here at the Irish Spring Fair, there's really something for everyone. We've got lure fishing, fly fishing, predator fishing, pike, zander. We've got Henry Gilby up doing a demonstration at the far end of the lake. You've really covered all the bases, Ned.
yeah, that's what we're hoping for, to have something for everyone. You know, we have some of the top names in the business there: Scott McKenzie and Andrew Toft and Glenda Powell and Henry Gilby, as you said, and Jim Clancy. That's trying to something there for everyone.
Absolutely, and there's a few travelled over from the mainland to Craig Barr's over, Philippa Haig, Melvin Wood. Lots of quite prominent tyres and anglers.
The guy from Newfoundland, Matt Romkey, is promoting Atlantic salmon fishing.
Oh right, I must drop by and have a look at that as well.
It looks impressive. I'll have to check it out myself next year.
Yeah. Do you fancy a wee trip?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've already got my trips in mind for next year. I can't tell my wife I've got any more planned. We get shot. But so I'm going to go inside the tent very soon, Ned, and what I wanted to do was just hand over my wallet, because I can't go in there with a credit card. Thanks very much for taking the time there. Guys, if you're enjoying the videos, please don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. Why don't you reach down to the bottom right hand corner of the screen and just give that subscribe button a little tickle. I'd really appreciate your support.
My name is Kevin Sheridan from Simplified Pro Team. Just at Dare Springs here. I'm going to tie a stimulator for the Irish locks. Particularly good pattern for mayfly time. First of all, starting off to where my body ends. Anti-clockwise, my thread. Just flatten out the thread. And bring it down to the shank. First up is my tail. It's going to be just natural elk. Just brush off all the fibres. This is a winter coat. Clip it. Just brush out all the. Put it into my stacker. And tilt your stacker, and with all your curves then will all fall in onto the one side. Like so. Roughly length of the shank. Pinch and loop. Light wrap it first and just bring it down, and as you're going down you just tighten in. Clip off your waist ends. On the way back down to the tail, I will put in my rib, gold rib. Again, this is Simplified's gold rib, 0.2 millimeter. Tie it in and lock it in. Bring your wire out 45 degrees, and that will slide your thread down to your previous wrap, like so. Just right. Next up is going to be Simplified's light olive sparkle dubbing. Some out, tear it up, make it into a fine fibre then that's easy to dub. Offer it up and light turn first and bring it up towards. So next up is a dyed saddle whiting, dyed by myself.
Oh, full of it. Yeah. There's bottles for yourselves, lads.
Thanks very much.
You're nearly all set.
First turn in front of the body and hammer it down. Close turns, 4 close turns on the way down. Tie that in.
So could you imagine doing this when it's chocker with people. You're like that elbowing guys out the way, back.
I've had to do it. Lock that in place. And clip off your hackle. Don't pull it because you'll only weaken it then. Right, next up is my wing, natural elk. So just clip off a bit. Clip the waist ends off here. Hold it in place. Use the tool from Swiss and just brush out all the waist ends. Into my stacker. And at an angle, just tap it. Again, you get all your curved ends all falling into one place. So what I do roughly, the wing is the length of the hook. Pinch and loop and just bring it down towards the end of the eye. Clip all your waist ends and just tie everything in now. Back up to the saddle and just tie in now. So we've got the hot orange, sorry, burnt orange. One turn in front and then 2 more turns and 1 full turn behind the eye and tie it in. Bring your hackle 90 degrees to the thread, fold it back and tie it all in and whip finish with your fingers. And just clip this off then. And that is your stimulator for the Irish locks, especially in mayfly time. Thanks for watching.
Well, the show's in full swing, but I thought I would come back outside to the lakes. It's really busy inside the tent. It's really good when you're going shopping for tackle, and especially fly tying materials. I know a lot of us, and I'm as guilty as the next person for buying our stuff online, but when you come to these shows, there is a plethora of stuff to look at, and it's much better, especially with capes and the like, if you can actually lay your hands on it. And I've got my eye on a couple of items already. I hope my wife's not watching this video. It's great to watch some of the demonstrations. There's been some really knowledgeable anglers sharing a wealth of their experience, and Craig Barr's just up the bank from me now showing people how to fish buzzers on small and large still waters, and he makes some valid points that I've hammered on about in the past myself, but it's great to hear it reaffirmed by an angler of Craig's style. Well, I'm joined by Tom Sullivan. He's here today to compare the whole event, and he's been doing a grand job I've barely had time to get some voice in. So Tom, have you been enjoying yourself?
Yeah, Lindsay, it's great. It's a cracking start to the morning.
You survived the initial rush. I had the drone up when the crowds were coming through, and it did look really busy at the start.
It was great. It's always great at a show when there's people waiting to get in. You know, that's fantastic. It's
and they're a
lovely
real
to see.
friendly bunch of folks.
Great, it's great here, and there's so
Yeah.
much going on. It really is. I mean, it's what you want at a show, a lot going on. But the thing that's really getting me is the kids area is fantastic.
Well, I was speaking to Ned earlier, and that's the standout thing for me. You know, getting kids involved, it's so important in the sport. And I think it's sorely lacking in certain areas. You know, people could be doing more.
It's something we as anglers have to concentrate on.
Yeah,
We really do. I mean, you can say they're not coming in, but there's a lot of other things kids growing up can do now.
Yeah.
That say when we were growing up, you know, we were limited, but there's so many other things to do. So we have to put our spake in and give kids a chance. And something like this is giving the kids a chance. We just did a spot prize thing there. So, and it was 11:30. We started, and first kid to catch a fish got a spot prize.
Yeah.
And 4 of them were in fish together, and it was great. And it was
brilliant.
and one was just coming to the net.
net, was it?
And it just come to the net, and he lost it. You could sense the disappointment on the other side.
We all know that feeling, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We all know that feeling.
We've all had that.
Listen, Tom, what do you do when you're not doing this then?
Well, I'm a guide on Loch Carb.
All right.
And Loch Mask. That's
so this time of year you'll be ramping up, ready.
I am. Yeah. This is normally be out, but
oh, you'd be out today usually.
Yeah, I'd be out from the 1st of March.
Ah, right. Okay.
So yeah, but this is a busy time. But just come down to help Ned out for this one. He was on to me in time, and I said, yeah, I'd love to help out. So it's great to come down. But when I go back tomorrow night, I'm straight back out in the lake on Monday.
Must be a tough gig.
Yeah.
Listen, Tom, thanks very much for taking the time to speak
really
to me.
good to talk to you.
And I'll
Excellent.
maybe get a pint with you later.
Oh, I'd say so.
So we're coming to the end of the day, and it's been an absolutely astounding day. I've seen so many kids catching fish, and it really does put a smile on my face. I'm passionate about getting people into fly fishing, and the younger people more so. You know, us old fuddy-duddies, we're not going to last forever, and if we don't bring some youth into this sport, it's going to die. So it's been an absolute pleasure to see Ned has prioritised the youth. Certainly there's several young kids running around, whether they're catching it on a spinner or a fly rod, who cares? The smiles on their faces say it all. Well done. Now, a lot of the fly fairs I've been to in the past, they've been pretty samey. You've been to one retailer, you've been to them all, but they've got some really unique people here today, and I've watched one lad who's making brooches and patterns for display, and they're absolutely amazing. Another chap, Robert, he's been making bamboo fishing rods, a hobby he only took up whilst COVID was on during lockdown. He decided, I'm going to make fishing rods, and now he's in the tent showing off his skills and selling his wares, which is fantastic to see. Now, the weather's been so kind to us today. The rain's managed to just about stay off, and it's absolutely ideal for fishing. Now, this is only the first day of the show, and tomorrow I won't be filming. I'll be on Tyres Row tying some flies, but I hope it's given you a flavour of the Irish Spring Fly Fair. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.